Hello everyone, welcome to Cyntexa's webinar on ServiceNow ITOM. I'm Surbhi Rawat, your host for today. As I work as a business consultant and I work closely with clients to help them leverage technological solutions to fulfill their business requirements. I additionally also take care of marketing operations, so I am here as a spokesperson for you in front of our speaker to find you the best possible solution for your business in ServiceNow ITOM. And today with me is somebody who has really lead digital transformation. He is not only just Chief Technological Officer at Cyntexa, but he is also a visionary who has brought cutting-edge solutions to life. Mr. Vishwajit Srivastav. Hello,
Hi.
Vijay.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm also doing great. I'm really excited about our today's webinar.
Also, just for the context, you all should be highly interactive in this webinar because Vijay is called Google of Cyntexa. So utilize this opportunity and try to be interactive and talk to him as much as you want. All right, moving on, let's quickly introduce our topic of the day. Can we have the topic on the screen, please? Our topic of the day is what is ServiceNow ITOM and how it works. But before we move forward, I would like to show a forward-looking statement to all of you. Please do not make any buying decisions from the information you get out of this webinar. And please get in touch with your account executives or your ServiceNow partner before making any buying decisions. All right, moving forward. All right, so first of all, we have to talk about Cyntexa, the reason why me, Vijay, we both are here. So Cyntexa is a ServiceNow consulting and implementation partner company with expertise in IT service management, IT operations management, and more. It is serving multiple industries, which is financial services, healthcare, education, manufacturing, non-profit, and beyond. We also hold partnerships with Salesforce, Google Cloud, AWS, Microsoft, and Nintex. We are committed to enabling businesses to unlock their potential through tailored solutions and transformative strategies. As you can see on the screen, we have a few numbers also to show you. We have so far done 900 projects. We have been able to we have so far served to 675 plus customers and have happy clients. Also, we have around 400 plus professionals on different technological solutions. All right, moving forward, I think I have already introduced myself to you as well as Vijay. So Vijay, hi again.
Hello.
All right, moving forward, today's agenda. I'll be honest with you, we have a lot in store for you today. So the first thing that we are, of course, going to look into is overview of IT operations management. We are going to go a little deeper on technical terms as what IT operations management is and not really going to rely on the technical definitions that exist right now. Additionally, we are also going to understand how ServiceNow ITOM comes into the picture, how it is different from other ITOM solutions that are out there. Additionally, of course, we are going to talk about the features of ServiceNow ITOM, how AI Ops in ServiceNow ITOM works, and after that, Vijay have been gracious enough to prepare a whole live demo for you all to see and understand and get a real-time experience on how the look and feel of Salesforce of ServiceNow org is, and we'll give you a live demo on it. Additionally, we have some benefits of ServiceNow ITOM. We will then address the challenges of ServiceNow challenges that ServiceNow ITOM caters to and how it can be beneficial for your business. Next, we are going to go deeper into how ServiceNow ITOM is different from ServiceNow ITSM. And after that, of course, we have to talk about how top brands are leveraging ServiceNow ITOM. And after that, best practices to implement ServiceNow ITOM. And then we are, of course, going to talk about the right ServiceNow partner for you and how you can yourself, decide. We will give you some additional point of considerations and factors that will help you decide a right ServiceNow partner for you. And then we are going to have a Q&A session, so we are more than willing and happy to answer all of your questions that we have here. All right. So moving forward, I think the first thing that we are going to discuss is ServiceNow ITOM and its overall overview. So Vijay, what I understand from ServiceNow ITOM so far is that it is a very strategic approach to manage organizations' IT needs. What I also do understand is that it helps improve your IT maturity from being very reactive and being very responsive to, I think, more proactive and self-healing. But that is something that I know from a very business front. Now, can you, go a little bit deeper and give me an understanding that from technical front, what is ITOM?
Yep. So that's a really great way to put it. Like being proactive in nature rather than reactive and responding in nature. So to explain what ITOM is, let's take an example. So let's take the example of Tesla or maybe Nvidia or maybe OpenAI itself only. So they have their IT infrastructure that they need to manage. Their IT infrastructure, ranging from the various servers that they have, virtual machine that they have, the storage devices, the network devices they have. So they have to manage all of that. They have to, kind of keep track of what devices we have, what's the configuration, how many, alerts there are, what at what particular, consumption they are being utilized. So they have to manage all of that. So how do they do that? So ITOM actually helps us doing that. It allows us to manage our infrastructure and assets in a way where we have complete understanding of what all things which are happening in it to ensure we have the highest performance, we have the great efficiency, and while all of that, we are optimizing it for our needs, for our customer need, for our employee needs itself only. So that's basically on a very high level what ITOM is.
Right. So I guess it very proactively identifies and highlights the forthcoming disruptions that might happen and fixes it before it actually happens. Right. But Vijay, now let's go a deeper into it and let's understand how so what does ServiceNow, ITOM brings to the table.
So if I talk about, what ServiceNow ITOM is, so basically what I said, so ServiceNow ITOM provides us a unified platform where we can track all of these details, ranging from doing the discovery itself only by identifying what all infrastructure that we have. You cannot imagine, a BFSI industry customer, let's say a bank, putting in 10,000 ATM locations manually one by one. So we want to have discovery where it is automatically identified. This is the IT infrastructure that we have. So we have discovery, we have visibility to ensure like what all things we can do with it. So ITOM allows us a way where we can manage all of that within single platform itself only. And not only that, we can take actions onto it. We can identify and create some automations on top of it. We can run some AI analytics on top of it and manage our entire business and entire IT infrastructure from just single place itself only. More to that, we can also integrate with ITSM as well, ITAM as well, and basically various other modules as well to make it more effective and make it a single platform, unified platform where we can manage our entire business from customer experience to employee experience. So that's what basically ServiceNow ITOM is.
Right. So Vijay, I got an idea about, ITOM and ServiceNow ITOM. Now, me being a stakeholder, how can I identify that if my business or my enterprise actually needs an ITOM at this given point of time? I mean, of course, if an organization is at an enterprise level where they have a lot of resources and a lot of data, then they need an ITOM. But how do I as a stakeholder figure it out that whether do I even need a ITOM in my business or whether do I need a ServiceNow ITOM in my business?
So, in order to identify whether you need an ITOM within your business, within your use case will depend primarily on, what is the IT infrastructure looks like within your company. So for a BFSI, industry, let's take an example of a bank. For a bank, it's very crucial that the transaction that is happening happens within seconds. It is not, taking more than 2 seconds itself only, because if that's happening, then it's going to hamper your SLA agreement. It's going to hamper your brand value, your, overall. So things like that can actually help you identify. More to that, if you have a huge IT cost that you are seeing, like we have to, we are paying this much, we are investing this much in our IT infrastructure itself only. So in that scenario, you should look into ITOM kind of solution. So that's a very high level overview of how you can decide as a stakeholder. Am I in a situation where the the IT infrastructure is kind of dictating how my, revenue is going to be, how my brand value or how my brand is perceived within the market? and how much money I am putting in to ensure my IT infrastructure stays up. So those are the primarily three things, according to me, which can actually help you identify whether you need ITOM or ServiceNow ITOM for the fact.
Right. Thank you so much for answering that in such clear terms. I think now we have understood how a stakeholder can really decide whether ITOM is really needed in their business or not. Moving forward, Vijay, I think one thing which is often said for ServiceNow ITOM is its great IT infrastructure visibility. So, please give us some idea around that also, that how does that visibility really functions?
So, if I talk about, this particular IT visibility and how it functions. So, with ITO in picture, you have clear understanding of, how many systems you have, how many, so let's take example of one of our customers. So like I already took one example. Now I will take another example from a different industry to showcase that we have different customers from different industry for ServiceNow. So let's take an example of a retail customer. So they have a lot of, this particular customer has more than 300 plus retail stores within US and Canada region, and they have a couple of e-commerce websites as well where they sell their products. So to manage all of that, they have ITOM, which is giving them clear picture of what all POS system you have, what all servers you have, what all devices you have, what all kiosk tablets or kiosk systems you have within your platform itself, within your business itself only. So they have a clear understanding. Okay, we have 10,000 POS systems. Okay, actually it was 1,000. Sorry for that. So they have 1,000 POS system. We have approximately 400 tablets. So they have a clear understanding of that, and they also have the information about what all configuration is there, how well they are performing, how many transactions happen from each of the POS itself only, how many people interact with the kiosk itself only, the tablets. So they have all of that information. So this gives them the clarity of how it will work and what all things they have within the picture itself only.
Right. I think on the screen we can also once show the overall picture, how the visibilities really can be seen in the entire, in the entire ServiceNow ITOM. So Vijay, if you could, very
definitely,
quickly tell us. Yeah.
So if I talk about, the visibility into the IT infrastructure, so from the diagram itself only, we can see, we can not only connect our in-house system, in-house, servers, in-house infrastructure. We can also connect our cloud infrastructure as well. And we are not even limited to that. We can even, interact and integrate our AWS as well, Azure as well, Google Cloud as well. And we can have those configuration items as well come into CMDB, which we can then which we can then run automations and have event logging, do AI ops on top of it, do reporting on top of it. So that is possible. So you have a clear visibility, whether it's in-house, whether it's on cloud, whether it's on AWS, GCP, whatever it is. So we have that clarity. So that is what visibility provides. Visibility is provided by ServiceNow ITOM.
Right. I will also give you another example where you can understand it from a very business perspective. So for example, you run a restaurant, right? And your POS system suddenly shuts down. Now it's a Black Friday sale, and you have a lot of people coming in after doing a lot of shopping, so they are already frustrated and they want their food as quick as possible. But due to your POS system shut down, now you have dissatisfied customers, and a lot of customers are leaving without even taking the food, or without being satisfied. So at this point of time, you are going to disappoint your customers on a very broader level. How you can fix this situation is, that is where ServiceNow ITOM comes into the picture. It will very proactively tell you in prior that, hey, this system might crash down. It will signal you, and you can take care of it, leaving a very good impression on your customers and making sure your revenue doesn't go on halt. So these are, this is how deep can ServiceNow ITOM go, and this is how deep it can go in terms of visibility. It can really give you a 360-degree visibility of your entire business, making sure there is no issue anywhere which halts your business operations. So if you are a business owner or a stakeholder, it will give you a very 360-degree predictive insight and analysis of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward, I think from here, the next.
So, yeah. I will talk about the features. So first up, we have discovery. So discovery is the capability within ServiceNow ITOM that allows us to identify, what all infrastructure devices are there. So like you cannot imagine, a particular bank or a particular, POS, a particular e-commerce giant, having retail stores as well. So a retail company having retail stores as well with lots and lots of POS, providing their POS details manually. Say they want discovery, where as soon as the POS is plugged in, it should be automatically picked up and stored as configuration item. Same for the ATMs as well within the bank. So this is what discovery is. It allows us to do that. It allows organizations to automatically identify the IT infrastructure and assets and other IT devices that they are utilizing. So that is what discovery is. Then we have service mapping. Service mapping is basically the key of kind of linking different IT infrastructure together, linking them in a way where they are specifying like if this particular stops working, this will impact these things as well. For example, let me take an example of a database, a MySQL database or a NoSQL database within a system for a retail company. If it will start, experiencing some kind of disruptions, it will impact the mobile application as well. It will impact the web application as well, and it will also impact some other aspects as well. So this is what service mapping allows us to kind of map. If this stops working, these are the things which will also stop working. So this kind of have a clear picture. If this is facing some disruptions, we are risking these three things which will also be disrupted because of this. So this is what service mapping is. Then we have event management. So with event collection that we can do from all of these configuration items that we have, we can have a way of identifying what all events are, noise, what all events are, a particular type of event, and then we can run some kind of automations on top of it. We can not only collect events from the configuration items within on-premises or cloud as well. We can link it with different aspects as well. We do have connectors as well from where we can start connecting events. So we'll be discussing them in our next slide. So we have orchestration and automation next up in the presentation. So okay, so yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, for orchestration and automation, what we have is it basically automate tasks and enhances efficiency, and it speeds up service delivery with features, like with the capability of doing.
Please continue, Vijay sir.
Okay, so sorry about that. I think there is some. Let me have some water first. Okay. All right. So for orchestration and automation, it basically allows us to kind of automate tasks based on the event that we have kind of captured, that we have got into the event management. So let's take an example itself only for this. You have received that the server is at its utilization of 70%, and you are seeing that it has risen to 80%. Now you can create an automation as soon as it reaches 80. You want to notify the IT team that we need to scale up our servers. So you can do that with automation and orchestration. Not only that, we can in fact trigger things like if you have auto scaling script, you can trigger that from that event itself only. So you have identified the event, you captured it, then you ran automation on top of it. As soon as it reaches beyond 90, you will automatically fire up a auto scaling script that will scale up the servers and add in 2 more servers over there. Then we have Now Assist. So the Now Assist is the AI capability that allows us to have the visibility of summarizing incidents for us. It provides us the capability of identifying the right knowledge that can actually help us resolve incidents. So things like that we can do with Now Assist. I covered Now Assist capabilities in our previous webinar as well, and we will be covering more within the dedicated webinar that we will be having for Now Assist. But yeah, it will help you do things faster because you don't have to read through entire documents. You don't have to read through entire knowledge articles. It automatically identifies and provides you the relevant ones. Then we have CMDB, so configuration management database. So we have a centralized configuration item for all the IT infrastructure that you can leverage, that you can utilize within all the places wherever you want to. Then we have service graph connector. I mentioned earlier, we can also connect, to outside infrastructure such as AWS, GCP, Azure. So Service Graph Connector allows us to do that. It allows us to connect with different vendors as well. We have health log analytics and we have metric intelligence. So ITOM also provides us, analytics and metrics capability where it can take in the data of server utilization, response time, storage, and tell us what's happening, what things are at risk. It can give us trends as well. It can do analytics on top of it. Not only that, it can also handle structured and unstructured data as well and identify it. Like this particular event is an anomaly. This particular event could be an error. So that is possible with health log analytics and metrics intelligence as well. So they are two different things, but one is working primarily on structured and unstructured data, unstructured and semi-structured data, and the other one is primarily working on metrics. We have service reliability management. We have standards that we can leverage to ensure the system that are running are, following a certain benchmark or not. Meaning we are not only managing the configuration items itself only, we are managing an entire service, which is the entire website. So the website has multiple configuration items into it, the backend server, the front-end server, the database server. So we can configure in a way where we are running KPIs as a whole on top of it. Then we have agent client connector, which allows us to keep track the performance data and usage data on a device level. So for like tablet, for mobile phones, for laptops, so we can do that. Then we have auditing and reporting, which we can utilize for our governance and compliance perspective. We have Cloud Accelerate, which also helps us, kind of ensure what we have as compliance, we are whether meeting it or not, what's the adoption rate looks like. So we have the capability. And firewall and audits is basically, doing the auditing kind of thing for the compliance and for the regulations that you have put in place. Last piece, certificate management. So we have the capability of managing certificates as well. So when you are running your applications, you have various certificates, TLS certificate, SSL certificate, and, you do have PKI certificates as well. So you can manage all of that with certification management. So these were the primary features of, ServiceNow that ServiceNow provides. And next up is...
Yes, Vijay, thank you so much, for explaining these features of ITOM to us. That was really very insightful. But I did had a question here, which often as a stakeholder comes into mind is operational cost and operational efficiency.
Okay.
Right? So how will ITOM improve the operational cost, or will, somewhere reduce the operational cost and will improve operational efficiency for the businesses?
Got it. So let me take an example for how it impacts the operational efficiency. Okay, so I told you about the the customer that we worked with, the retail customer that had physical stores as well and various e-commerce websites as well. So they were utilizing ITOM, and within that ITOM implementation, we were tracking their configurations about all the infrastructure that they have and what all metrics that they have within it. So they used to track whenever somebody opens up their product listing page, it takes approximately 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds to display that. But with ITOM in place, what they could do is they could have, they identified, okay, the breakdown of that particular duration is around 1 second to 1.5 seconds is taken by the database query that actually fetch the data from the database and show it. And then around 30 seconds are being taken by data backend to provide the logic and the content to the front end, and then front end takes approximately 10 seconds to kind of work on it and render the entire thing. But once they have that kind of clarity, once they had that kind of bifurcation in front of them when they implemented ITOM, they realized we were okay with this response time, but we can reduce it by just simply upgrading the SQL server or by simply modifying the query so it's more efficient. So they did that. And once they did it, it reduced the time from 1.5 seconds to, it reduced it to just 40 seconds itself only. So that kind of, actually helped us. So these things like that, we could do that, within, instead of 400 milliseconds, they are getting response as compared to, 3 seconds or 5 seconds. So things like that we can do with ITOM. It definitely, improves the efficiency as well. And it also kind of, reduces the cost as well, because they don't have to have multiple teams to kind of work on it and identify why it's not working like that, why we are having that slow of a platform. So it can help them in this particular way.
Right. Thank you, Vijay, for enlightening us on those facts. I think AI is something that if you're not using AI, then you're not being productive at your max level. So how does AI ops looks like in ServiceNow ITOM?
Okay, so AI Ops is the capability within ServiceNow where we are capturing all of those events and alerts data. So we are utilizing that, and first of all, we are analyzing, what are the potential issues that could be, and then whether they need to be escalated or whether they are just noise itself only. So we can identify that so that we are not bugging our IT team like we need to work onto it, but AI is identifying whether this particular event or this particular alert actually needs attention of the IT team itself only. So we can do that, and then once it has been identified whether that issue is a noise or whether that is a critical issue, we can leverage AI to do some self-healing as well. When I say self-healing, what that means is it can simply, if it has received like the server is not responding, it can send a reset signal to the server itself only, and it will restart the server. Or if you have a auto scaling script, it can simply trigger that with the data that you have provided, like the server utilization is at 90% and you are hitting the auto scaling script. So it will automatically, upscale the server to have, instead of 3 servers, now you have 4 servers. So things like that we can do with it. Then we have, the capability where the sorry about that. So apart from that, we have the capability of identifying what is the actual thing that is impacting our scenarios, what's the root cause for it. So we can identify it and we can notify the IT team, this happened, we identified it could be the reason why this is happening, and we have done this. And now if it is still not performing, we can bring in the incident team, we can bring in the IT guys to actually look into it, so thus saving the time of the IT team and ensuring we are being efficient, and we are also keeping the cost at minimum by not involving IT team again and again and doing things which AI could help us in. So that is what AI ops in general. I will talk about it in a bit more sense when we will be looking at our demo.
Okay. I think then we should directly head into it.
Definitely.
So Vijay, please take us through the live demo of ServiceNow ITOM.
Definitely. Just give me a moment and then we can quickly jump into it.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So we can look at the demo. All right, it's visible on the screen. So yeah, this is the discovery workspace. So over here we can schedule our discoveries. We can see what discoveries has happened and what all configuration items were discovered. So I will quickly go into the schedules so that I can show you how it will look like. All right, so it is showing us a schedule overview. So this is a demo environment. So over here, you may not be able to see a lot of things, but yeah, for the demo piece, I have created one discovery schedule that I would like to showcase. So this is the demo discovery that I have created. Over here, I have provided the information, the name, the server which is actually being utilized for the discovery itself only. I will not go into the technical piece too much into it, so I am not going into that. And then I can specify the various IP ranges where it need to do discovery and all the other things. So since I have already run it and it takes huge time to kind of run the discovery, I will simply go and find the discovery that I wanted to showcase. Yep. So this is the discovery that I had did earlier. So over here you can see it identify total 1 device and what is that device is, and if there would have been, let's say, 10 devices, it will have shown us over here. And if it is a scheduled discovery and it has identified one new device, then it will have shown 1. If it hadn't identified any new device, then it would have been 0 itself only. I will simply open it up. Over here, we can see that it has identified this particular laptop, and we have all the configuration details about it, what laptop it is, what are the software installed, what are the running processes involved, what's the network adapter look like. So we have that complete visibility over here. Again, this is a configuration item for a laptop. That's why we are seeing this information. It would have been something else if it would have been a network device. If it would have been something else, then it would be showcasing that. If I click on open dependency view, it is the same thing that I was talking about earlier. We have a complete, dependency view for us where we can see if the disk is not responding, then it is going to impact the computer itself only. So something similar to that. If the MySQL is not working at its maximum output, or if it's facing some kind of disruptions, then it could impact the server as well. So that is possible. So I will simply click on over here to show you what all things have been created. So yeah, so this is kind of highlighting, and why that's happening is because there is an alert associated to it. So alert got created, and we can see this is the alert information. If I click on it, I will be quickly directed to the alert, and we will have all the details about it. I will go into that just in a while. Then we can see incidents. If there are any incidents that has been created for it, which are open, we can view them from over here itself only. So if I click on it, I will be able to see the incident, and you have seen the incidents earlier in our ITSM demo as well. So it's the same window, it's the same thing, but yeah, we have all the information about it, like, SLA is related to it, CI is related to it, because it is a configuration item. And over here as well, we can see the, details about the server itself only. The server is working slow for MySQL 1. So we can see different type of incidents for different type of configuration items, and we can have a dependency along the way. Moving on, I will be showing you how these alerts are created. So right now what I'm showing you is the capability of, creating automations on the alerts that we are capturing. So these alerts are those alerts. Within the slides itself only, if you have downloaded them, you would be able to see, like, we can capture alerts from different sources, be it from, SolarWinds, be it, from AWS, be it from, GCP, be it from, Splunk as well. We can have them. So once we have those, how do we, identify what alert is what? So we can do grouping as well. So we can group alerts into one. So over here, I am grouping alerts if the group is this, and then what I'm doing is I'm creating a group basis on the description, so that if the alert is saying server is facing some kind of issues into it. Let's take an example of a more relatable scenario. If the alert says the server has faced some connectivity issue with the MySQL server, so that alerts will be grouped together. So we can do it from here itself only. So we can create a rule like this. We can provide the information details and how it will look, and then it will create a group alert like this, where we can see the details about it, mid server for demo, what's happening, and then we can see the grouped alerts in just one single window itself only, and what service they are impacting. We can see that as well. Okay, so that is grouping of alerts that is possible. Then we have enriching. So once we have identified, like, this is a critical issue, or this issue needs some more information, we can enrich it. What that means is we can add in more details to that particular alert. So if once the page load, we will be able to see it in action. Yeah. So we have identified, if these conditions are met, like, simulated high CPU alert, then we will be, adding more details to it. What details? Like, the description I have right now added by rule event, but we could, get details from the event itself only, from other places as well. Like, if you want to, have the details about, if the error happened in, at what particular time, from what particular IP it was trying to connect, using what credentials, and what was the response from there. So we can, create a unique kind of details for us that we could enrich into the alert itself only, which would help us resolve it better. So once we do that, this is how alert record would look like. So I had added, a description over here. So this is something that we can see over here. So it has been added. Then we have respond capability, where we can, respond basis on what has happened. So if there has been an alert and we want to take some actions onto it, I talked about two scenarios. So let's take those two scenarios itself only. If there is a alert which is saying that the server utilization is more than 90%, then we want to either notify the IT team that they need to increase the server count itself only, or maybe do some auto scaling logic, or maybe add some more RAM to it, add more CPU power to it. So we can do that. So over here I have a respond rule created for me where I'm checking if this is happening, and what I'm doing is I'm creating an incident for me, and I am creating all of that incident details for me over here. But not only that, I can also send a webhook call as well. So as I mentioned, we can do auto scaling as well. We can send reset signals as well. So we can send it from over here. So automation, we have to do these kind of things. And this is how the alert will look like. So this is the alert. It has all the information that we provided. And then we can see the incident itself only. So this is the incident which got created as it satisfied the criteria. This is the incident that got created, and we have the information. And over here, you can see the now assist capability. We talked about it in our previous demo, ITSM demo. So we have this, and we can utilize it wherever we want. So this is alert automation for respond. Lastly, we have ignore. So we can remove noise, and noise can be removed by various scenarios, but ignore is one of them. Like, we can utilize grouping and ignore together to kind of remove noise. So we can do that. So over here, I have created an ignore rule as well, where if the description value is, let's say, I haven't saved it yet, but let's say description value is, server warning. So I don't want to care about server warnings. I just want to, care about something else. So I can specify the criteria, and it will simply be ignored, and we will not be notified anywhere within our alerts, within our, respond, or within our grouping as well. So we can do that. So this is what alert automation is for us. And then this is the dashboard. This dashboard is showing us, what all details we have. So basically all the details that we have a clear graphical representation for us, which is easier to understand and looks good and gives us a much more clarity from a, reporting point of view. Lastly, I want to showcase the certificate inventory. So certificate inventory is basically, the certificate management that I talked about in the feature section. Over here, we can manage our TLS and SSL certificates, PKI certificate as well, and various other certificates that you may be utilizing within your website, within your application, within authentication or integrations. We can manage all of that if they are up for renewal, if they would be expiring soon. So we can manage all of that from over here. We can have different expiration tasks created, but right now for the sake of this demo, I haven't created them for now. But yeah, this is the place where we can manage it and where we can, handle them. So this was the small demo that I wanted to kind of showcase to give you a highlight of how ITOM would look like in action.
All right. Thank you, Vijay, for giving us such an insightful demo. If anybody have any questions around the demo, please drop them down in the comment section below, and we'll be happy to answer. From here, I think we will be moving towards benefits of ServiceNow ITOM. Can we have the benefits on the screen, please? Next slide. All right. So let us quickly cover the benefits of ServiceNow ITOM. I think the first benefit that there is that it provides complete visibility into IT infrastructure. I think this is something that Vijay has already highlighted very nicely and very clearly, is that it really gives you full visibility that makes the management simpler and more efficient. Otherwise, with disoriented systems or the systems which are not properly connected, the visibility is not really there. So this is one thing that ServiceNow ITOM really fixes. Next is it automates service mapping for better insights. Now, how does that help you? Well, it automatically identifies and keep tracks of all your IT assets, ensuring you have accurate information, which is again very important. Next point is early issue detection and prevention. I think we have mentioned the proactiveness of ServiceNow ITOM multiple times. It can very much foresee potential problems before they arise, which further helps you in avoiding any disruptions that might cause in your business operations. Next point is accurate and reliable IT data management. So you gain immediate insights, which somewhere helps you in decision making, in making the right choices, and also to plan the right future for your business and for your employees. So it really helps you out on those fronts as well. Additionally, seamless cloud adoption and governance. Through ServiceNow ITOM, it really manages your overall cloud resources very effectively. It ensures that you get the best value from your investment through a right cloud technology. Next point is unified IT operations on a single platform. Again, we have previously also discussed this. So ServiceNow ITOM combines all aspects of IT operations into one platform, making management simpler and more efficient compared to any other ITOM tool that is out there, or compared to any disjointed or disoriented systems that are there. So, these were some of the benefits that were there of ServiceNow ITOM. Moving forward from benefits, we have a slide here which will show you how a healthy CMDB really results in great excellence. So if you can see, with a healthy CMDB, you can achieve 38% faster incident resolution. You can achieve 82% fewer failed changes, and you can also achieve somewhere around 604% more incidents resolved with problem management. These are, some of the incredible results ServiceNow ITOM can get for your business. Moving forward, of course, we are going to address some challenges by ServiceNow ITOM. So Vijay, please, take us through some of the challenges of ServiceNow ITOM.
Definitely.
That it addresses, and the solutions that ServiceNow ITOM provides to these challenges.
So as we, kind of discussed in our previous, slides itself only. So it has, removed the problem of limited visibility. It has the clear visibility of what your IT infrastructure is, what all configurations are there. So it is provides that. There are no more disconnected systems because all the data, all the things are in just one unified platform itself only that we can leverage. Scaling challenges are also fixed by it because we discussed, in a scenario where we have, around 300 POS systems that they had, but they increased it to 1,000 in their scenario. So for this particular retail industry, we had 300 POS system, but they, allowed us, the ITOM allowed them to increase it to 1,000. So that is something possible. Then we have event noise, so we can remove the noise and identify the real alerts, real issues where we need attention. So that is something possible. We can identify anomalies as well with unstructured and semi-structured, data processing, I would say, which allow us to do that. Again, it was discussed in benefit section. Integration complexity is also resolved because it's on ServiceNow. So majority of the things you can find on ServiceNow itself only. Even if you are not utilizing ServiceNow other capabilities, it's a great platform where you can integrate it with other platforms as well if you want to leverage them for your workflows.
All right. Thank you so much, Vijay, for giving us an insight on that. Additionally, I also want to discuss one more point here, that what cost implications you are going to have if you are not implementing ITOM in your business. So some of the cost implications that I would like to mention is, number one, you will have increased operational cost. I think we have previously also mentioned, and Vijay has said, that operational cost really gets affected by ServiceNow ITOM. So with inefficient resource management, it will lead to a higher labor cost and resource wastage as well. Second point is higher downtime costs. So lack of proactive monitoring results in increased downtime, causing productivity losses and signaling being a significant financial impact on your revenues as well. Other cost implications are escalating incident management costs or compliances risk that you have. For example, if you don't have your compliances at the right place, you can be asked by the government to pay XYZ amount of amount of bills, and that is why compliance risks are always there. Other than that, there is of course reputation damage. After that, it is fragmented IT environments, and then most importantly, you will have missed opportunities. If you are not going to utilize ITOM at the right time in your business, you are going to face a lot of opportunity cost, which is in a longer run going to be a big problem for your business. So these were some cost implications that we had for not implementing ITOM. Moving forward, I think from here we have the impact of ServiceNow ITOM on IT service efficiency. So if you can look into this, 30% fewer service desk requests that require human intervention was observed when ServiceNow ITOM was utilized. Next point is 12% service desk agent time savings happened. After that, 60% of common issues deflected and was automatically resolved. And around 35% of P1 incidents were prevented. So clearly, ServiceNow ITOM is really having a huge impact on IT service efficiency, and hence it is really a time where you should ask this from your IT departments as well as yourself, that is this move right? And you should actually go forward and have conversations with ServiceNow partners or us to understand if implementing ServiceNow ITOM is right for your business or not. From here, I think we are going to move into how ServiceNow ITOM is different from ServiceNow ITSM. So Vijay, please take us through it.
Definitely, yeah. So if I talk about how they are different, so primarily they are different from the key things that they are addressing. ITOM is addressing the operational side of things, the IT infrastructure, whereas ITSM is dealing with the service issues that you are getting from the customers itself only, or from the employees itself only. So that's the difference primarily. Then the responsibility, obviously, it is ITSM is primarily to deal with business and customer needs, whereas ITOM oversees the IT systems and its management and its efficiency to ensure performance. So that is something different over there. From the focus point of view, ITSM primarily focuses on IT services. ITOM focuses on monitoring performance, fixing issues, being more proactive into the nature. Visibility, ITSM is more outward facing, either to the customers or either to the employees itself only. ITOM is more inwards, where the IT team is actually utilizing it to identify and ensuring we are having our IT infrastructure up and running, and we are meeting our SLAs if we have given them. So things like that we can manage. Users are ITSM users are typical customers and employees. For ITOM, it's the IT team itself only utilizing it. Security practices, again, it control access, apply, update, and manage risk to keep IT services secure. Whereas ITOM is primarily to protect IT infrastructure with security policies, encryption, and digital certificates. Then there are certain frameworks which are different in both of them, as their responsibilities are different. Then quality management is something, it is used, ITSM is used to meet the SLAs, whereas ITOM is used to ensure the reliability of the monitoring things and monitoring, platforms, which ensures we are meeting the SLA or not. ITSM is utilized to enforce the SLA requirements. ITOM is primarily utilized to identify whether we are breaching the SLA or whether we are going to breach the SLA. So things like that, it's how it's different from ITSM and ITOM. And with more webinars that we'll be doing, you will get more understanding of what ITSM is, what ITOM is, what ITAM is, how they interrelate with each other, what is DevOps, what is SecOps. So it will paint a much bigger picture as well. But this is the difference between ITSM and ITOM that you can, understand from the point of view. They are two different things, managing two different aspects. One is helping other, ensuring you are it's being done in the right way or not. So that's how I will put it.
Right. Thank you, Vijay, for giving us such a good understanding, because this is true that when ITSM and ITOM comes together, it really transforms the entire organization. But also, there are a lot of places where actually people get confused that whether this is an ITSM job or whether this is an ITOM, where does it really comes into. So thank you for that differentiation. I think with this differentiation, it is pretty clear that what ITSM is and what ITOM is. I think from here we should definitely move towards the top brands who are leveraging ServiceNow ITOM. So 7-Eleven is the one brand which is really utilizing ServiceNow ITOM. By leveraging ServiceNow ITOM and ITSM, 7-Eleven Mexico achieved 100% uninterrupted operations across 1,800 stores, reduced audit preparation time by 80%, streamlined interdepartmental collaboration, enhancing operational efficiency and service management. Second example is Hexaware. By implementing ServiceNow ITOM and ITSM, Hexaware consolidated its IT operations, delivering zero disruption implementations, boosting automation and expanding its ServiceNow practice with a revenue of 12-fold in 6 years, driving operational efficiency and innovation across customer environments. Next is UNC Health. By leveraging ServiceNow's IT Operations Management, UNC Health integrated and streamlined its IT and HR systems, ensuring consistency and efficiency across its healthcare network. This approach enhanced workflows, enabled data-driven decisions, supported hospitals and providers statewide. So this is the kind of impact, ServiceNow ITOM had and is still having on top brands that exist in the world. From here, let's move to the best practices to implement ServiceNow ITOM. So the first thing is defining clear objectives. Align implementation with business goals while addressing key pain points and improvements. Next point is involve key stakeholders. That is very important. If the key stakeholders are going to be very much aligned with the business objectives and how the implementation is taking place, it is going to be there for longer run and will reduce a lot of issues that might come in the future. Prioritize integration. So integrate seamlessly with existing systems while maintaining data integrity. This is very important. And I think after this, VJ can also explain us that how ServiceNow ITOM really integrates with other systems and how that really happens. Next point is you have to plan for scalability. So design adaptable processes and use flexible features to support growth. That is very much important and needed. Next is use automation and AI. So automate tasks and leverage AI for efficiency and predictive insights. Again, we are constantly, reminding you to get as much involved and get AI also as much involved in your business operations as possible, because that is what the future is. Next is ensure security and compliance. Protect data and adhere to industry regulations and policies. So these are, some of the best practices that you can keep in mind when implementing ServiceNow ITOM into your business. So Vijay, please, give us an idea about how the integration really works in ServiceNow ITOM.
So if I talk about integrations within ITOM, so ITOM do have out-of-the-box connectors with a lot of providers, be it like AWS, Azure, and Microsoft as well. So like Microsoft and Azure are same thing. So basically AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. So not only we are limited to that, we do have certain connectors available from the third-party vendors itself that we could leverage, and we have the capability of integrating it ourselves as well. Using REST API and SOAP API, we can connect it with whatever the platform that we want to connect. It's again same ServiceNow platform itself only, which is highly extensible and highly integratable with various other platforms. So it's the same platform, and we could leverage it in different scenarios.
Right. Okay, completely understood that. Now, for example, the key stakeholders looking at us and the business owners looking at us, they have now somewhere understood, okay, maybe they should, give a try to ServiceNow ITOM. At least they should get on a consultation call. And now, where should they start from is a ServiceNow partner.
Yeah.
They should really start with them. So now, how to choose the right implementation partner?
So first of all, you have to identify, the partner or the people that you are dealing with actually have the industry, know-hows. They understand how the industry works. They understand how your industry works. They understand how the process that you are trying to implement actually works end to end, and they have experience of doing the same thing. So you need to identify that. Along with that, you need to pick the individuals, pick the team who has the certified professionals on top of it. It gives a added benefit. It gives you added confidence on top of it. Like, yeah, they have the business understanding, they have the industry understanding, they have explained me what I need to do, but do they have the right talent? And you can identify it by with certified professionals. So that is something, definitely required. They need to be tech savvy. That is unsaid. If they are not tech savvy, they are simply the person who knows what ServiceNow ITOM is, and they will simply implement it irrespective of what what your needs are, what your goals are. Then it's not going to work out for you. Then they need to be, provide you a solution, provide you a consulting that is more tailored and curated for you, curated for your business. So that is something they need to have. And then they need to have project management with implementations for big organizations, for big enterprises. Project management is key, because you need to ensure whatever you are doing, whether you will be getting something deliverable as a deliverable at the end of the day is very, crucial, and it's going to be thing that is going to make or break your project success. So project management is really important, and you need to understand what their project management is, how they will be managing it, whether they have had any success in managing for a brand or for an organization like yours. So you need to identify that. And then you need to pick a team who has the post-implementation support, where they are hand-holding you once they have implemented it, so that your processes, your flows are running smoothly, and your team is also trained onto it and is comfortable enough to utilize the same platform. So you need to identify this. Whether you are choosing us or whether you are choosing anybody, always follow these set of criteria that will definitely help you out. And yeah, so that is basically what all things you need to cover.
Right. Thank you, Vijay, for helping us out. And of course, you can reach out to Cyntexa as well for any queries that you have around implementation or around ServiceNow or any other product as well. Please reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to connect you with the Vijay or with any technical expert who can help you out with the same. So, Vijay, I think we are somewhere have covered the entire all of the things that we had planned for today. So let's move on to the Q&A round. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Let's see. Hi, Anshul. Sorry for the technical error. All right. I think we don't have any questions.
All right. Vijay, I do have one question.
Definitely. I always love questions.
I always, I thought that maybe somebody from the audience will ask this. So I was saving this question for the last.
Sure.
But, storage is one thing that is, that gets, that is something that always businesses or at least IT departments have an issue with. So can we store our entire asset database, all of the resources? For example, I'm running an organization of 50,000 people. So having that huge asset database and that much resources and documentation, can ServiceNow ITOM really cater to that? So my first question is that. My second question is, now for example, I also have some of the data stored in third party. So can it cater to that stored data as well? And can it cater to the good quantity of data?
So it can definitely cater to the good quantity of the data you mentioned, 5,000 employees and their assets and their configurations as well. It can do that. It can manage it. It can maintain it. There might be some cost related to it because you are utilizing database, data storage. So that is something there. If I talk about your second piece, which is managing the data which is stored somewhere outside ServiceNow, and still you want to utilize it, so that is something possible. We can connect it via the connector that I talked about in the feature section. We can leverage that and we can connect it over there and then utilize it within our CMDB and run our automations as well, run our logics as well. However we want to run, we can integrate it in that sense.
All right. Okay, I think we are done. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in today. And we are so sorry again for all the technical glitches that you had to face today. We will make sure that this does not happen. But thank you so much. Hope you got good insights and knowledge from here. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. See you next time.
Yes, soon.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.